Cleared for takeoff runway 1 right Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320.
Hello, this is JC from Real and Simulated Wars. Guys, I cannot unglue myself from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Just bought the most expensive version. I had a feeling I was going to like it, and to be honest, it just became an addiction. There is a limited amount of aircraft. There is none of them who is military related or anything like that. Still, you know, I just love flying. I just love, you know, pushing these buttons. And well, here I am. This video is really very silly. I just want to show you an auto landing that I have made with the A320, the Airbus A320, which comes stock with all the versions of the flight simulator. So what I liked about this, it is that, you know, how easy it is to create a flight plan. I created the whole flight plan for low altitude IFR, and well, here I am. This is the silliest, shortest flight in this history of you know, commercial aviation. I'm flying from Kilo India Alpha Delta, which is International Airport of Dulles, all the way to BWI. The code for that, it is Kilo Bravo Whiskey India. And well, the software allowed me to create this flight plan without too much fuss. I was able to create approach routes and low IFR rules, and it was fantastic. I'm just thrilled how easy it was. Somehow, you know, if I could have to do this with other software, I was completely lost. And I have to confess, this is not done, of course, it's not done for real you know, training or something like that. I barely can be I'm scratching the surface of this. I don't know how to deal with the flight computer or anything like that. So let's take a look at the cabin or the cockpit. I am in the captain's seat of the A320. As you see, the interiors are really very, very detailed. This aircraft has a lot of non-operational buttons, so it's not a high super fidelity simulation yet. That has been indicated in many venues, which, you know, people are already upset about that, like, this is not a simulation or something like that. Well, you know, all the stock aircrafts from all the flight simulators were at the same level, so I don't see the point. I mean, come on, guys, is it that difficult to have some fun from time to time? And well, in my case, it feels like a glove because I'm not a hardcore airline flyer person. And well, as you know, I already mentioned that. Let's go through the views right here. The flight computer, I just don't this thing right there, I barely, you know, I'm able to perform certain basic functions, like, you know, when my flight plan or I miss something, I just can't fly direct. But, you know, there are people who are very capable and can program an entire flight plan, sit down here and ticky, and, you know, they will just do it. Not me. This video doesn't include, of course, any type of instruction regarding how to start call the aircraft. I'm not into that. I will never be, most likely. I only called the start of the A10 in DCS a long way back. But you know, the main not lesson, or, you know, the main topic that I'm going to be touching today, this is the autopilot. This is not a tutorial, not intended for any type of instruction or anything like that. I just wanted to use the autopilot, a flight plan, an Autoland A320. I chose on purpose a very short flight, which is like, I don't know, maybe this is 80 miles as the bird flies. So it's very short. It's a flight of 20 minutes or 14 minutes. It's just there. So I am going to be taking off right now, so I'm gonna do my little routine. I'm gonna bring down the flaps to stage 1, release the parking brake, and I'm going to arm the auto throttle and the flight director, and we are ready to take off. Let me set that down there. Other thing it is that I'm gonna be pretty much ignoring the ATC. I'm a bad pilot. knots. There is some stuttering. Gear up. Flaps up. And as soon as I reach 1,000 feet, I'm going to be taking, releasing the control to the autopilot system.
Airbus 320, contact Potomac departure on
I'm going to put the throttle lever at the climb level, CL. And we're right now at 1,200 feet. So let's apply the autopilot. I am struggling with the views. I'm using the mouse for looking at things. I tried using track IR, but as you can see, you see it everywhere. There is stutters. There is like you see that's horrible when you look to the side where not the refresh rate, but the rate at which things are happening and moving around is sometimes a bit bothersome. It just goes away with altitude. That's a given. I didn't pay too much attention to any type of optimization routine of people that are working on that. There are plenty of videos here and there. So let's take a look at our route. So our route, it is like that. We're going to be flying with roughly a heading of 50, and then we're going to turn west, and from there we're going to be approaching the runway for KBWI runway number 10. It's a simple flight plan, and ATCs, yeah, blah blah blah, ATC, shut up. So right now I'm not touching my controls. The autopilot is taking care of that. It wants to go to 5,000 feet, and the speed that it's trying to reach is 250 knots, if I got that correctly. So it's a very short flight, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna arm here for a lower airspeed, because I noticed that during my auto landings my airspeed is a bit too hot. It's around like 200 or 180 or something like that. So I'm gonna manually, select it myself. Probably I'm gonna leave it at 155. And also my altitude, just in case everything craps out, I can quickly go from manage it, which is whatever is the autopilot doing, into something that I can instruct the thing to do. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Let's go to an external view. The views are really incredible. We just crossed the Potomac. It is in the back right there. There is a minimal amount of clouds. Beautiful evening here in Montgomery County. We're a bit south of Germantown. That body of water down there That's this little Seneca Lake in the Black Hill Regional Park. I live very close to this. That's exit. Well, the main highway over there is the I-270. That's exit 15. You can see in the distance the outlets. There is some shopping outlets that have been recently opened. So beautiful. It's never short of Flight Simulator is never short of, you know, beautiful things to look at, and that is great. So right now the aircraft is decelerating. Pardon my French. So we're going towards that waypoint. If you put the constraints, well, you know, the autopilot or the flight plan is already programmed to satisfy those constraints, which you see in purple right there. I don't know if you can see my cursor. So for when we are near this, this is actually a navigation point, Droza. So for that one is around 3400. So we expect as soon as we get into Woolly, we expect the aircraft to descend, and that's pretty much it. So one of the things that I learned about this is that you know, the auto throttle actually doesn't move the throttle levers. You leave them alone, and I usually leave it at the climb level, CL, and the auto throttle is going to take care of everything. If you want a more detailed view, right there in this for the two engines, you have, this is a lever position, throttle lever position, with that small circle, and this is what actually the throttle is doing, the throttle governed by the auto throttle system. So it's way short. I rarely move it out. I know that there are ways to move it out, but you know, the risk it is if you leave the throttle at too small levels. When you disengage the auto throttle system, you're gonna be left in a very bad position, because it's gonna be limiting the, you know, the real thrust that you can get. So it's better to leave it at the climb. And to be honest, what is great, it is this video that this real A320 pilot has published in YouTube. Contains a lot of information there. And now we're turning into column. You see how, let's go down, you see the descent. Oh, it's coming back into that. The next level is going to be 3400 for Droza, which is cool. And in the meantime, I already armed the altitude in case I want to go into get out of the managed, you know, autopilot system driven altitude and speed. I can quickly pull that those little connections, those little knobs, and be my way, which is great. And what else? Oh, I always forget, you know, to arm the spoilers, so I'm gonna arm them right now. We're in theory in a descent mode, not still a full approach, but soon it's gonna be like that. So we're going down to 3000. Everything looking fine. So I love the concept of the Airbus, how it flies. And you know, to be honest, these modern airliners, the idea of the pilot, of course you're always the pilot, you're always the person in charge. But the idea it is that you're managing systems more than anything else. This is an external view. You see the high angle of attack. It is because we're doing around 200 knots. That body of water in the background is the Philadelphia water reservoir. I used to drive there to work every single day. And let's go back to the cockpit. We're at 3,000, which is great. 2,500. 2,500, that's the radio altimeter. You see it. Let me show you right there. There must be a hill or something like that. So that's what the Annunciation was about. And now we're turning into the runway. There it is on our left. So as soon as we're done turning, I'm gonna press the localizer so we align on the long axis with the runway. You see it right there, lock, which is the localizer. Still doesn't catch it. Already catch it. Good. When I turn off the ILS indicators right there, and I'm gonna switch to approach. So let's reduce the airspeed. Let's go to selected airspeed, and the spoilers are armed. Look at those lights. I mean, never short of great, you know, views and everything. This is really awesome. Let's deploy the landing gear a bit earlier so we can see the animation and the incredible amount of detail that this thing has. It's like, look there, look at that. This just could this forever. Just deploying the flaps. We're a bit over speeding, of course. We're a bit too hot in airspeed. Flaps are kind of 500. There we go. Help a little to bleed a bit of airspeed. It's good to have some, you know, a computer trimming your aircraft anyway. So we're going down. Our vertical airspeed is kind of like 900 feet per second. But I'm not going to touch it. 200, 800, 700. It's a bit rough.
100, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard, 5.
There we go. Spoilers up. And I didn't apply reverse thrust, I think. So we're just safely landed at BWI. I'm not gonna ask for directions, of course. I'm gonna just taxi at will. And that's pretty much it. Just wanted to show you that. I'm basically trying to get back into the civilian flight simulator gig. So stay tuned for more videos. The next one that I plan to do, it is about, you know, airspeed and the gates of flying. So stay tuned for that. I'm really very happy to see you around here, and keep gaming, and you know, stay safe during this pandemic. All right, so thank you very much.